grounding. So my understanding of this is when I become upset, I disassociate, and I want to bring that energy back down into my body and connect to the earth so that I can talk coherently. Okay, I can feel myself back in my body. You know, I've got my dryer running and it's bugging me, so I'm going to go turn it off. Okay, it's better. I need to talk about my mother. And talking about my mother triggers my nervous system immediately. My throat tightens, my stomach hurts, I start feeling dizzy and nauseous. And it hasn't always been that way because I was disassociated from myself. And I know there's a clinical term for this, and I should have written it down, but I didn't. My mother horrifically abused me primarily. She abused everybody. Within our home, but I was her primary target, and I still am. Unless I hyperfixate on her, which I did for a large part of my life, she runs a horrible smear campaign on me to the point that she has successfully alienated me from my extended family, who I know love and care about me. I'm talking about my Uncle Dexter. I'm talking about my Aunt Janie. I'm talking about my cousin Dana, my cousin Brian, my cousin Jill. Because the narcissist in a family system is the person that everyone has to hyperfixate on. And there are lots of casualties in this war, this family shadow-based war. Go to my heart space. I've been trying to do this for a week, but I am going to do it today. Today is the day. My mother is a sadomasochistic wannabe dominatrix. She terrorized me and my two sisters, but I was and am her primary target. A narcissist, in the best circumstances, still has to have someone to offload on. There has to be a scapegoat. And oddly enough, she has found a man that is a Jew to regulate her emotions. I don't know how these people what am I talking about? Our president is a malignant narcissist with a whole government of flying monkeys. When that man was elected president in 2016, I had witnessed a suicide in April of that year. I was working in a very conservative town government, Cabarrus County Land Records. I have a degree in geography. I was working as a property mapper, which to this date has been my favorite job. April of that year, a covert narcissist that had literally stalked me for 4 years committed suicide in front of me with a handgun. Don't disassociate. Don't go to the TV sphere. Don't go to Call of Duty. Don't go to when you were a kid playing cowboys and Indians. I'm not gonna fucking let you dehumanize me. Don't go to the manosphere. Don't go to Dynasty. Don't go to Thornbirds. Don't go to Gone with the Wind. Go to Lisa. A man that I knew for 4 years who pretended to be my best friend, who knew I had absolutely no romantic feelings about him, who everyone in his life knew I had absolutely no romantic feelings for, capitalized on the fact that I have no family support, capitalized on the fact that both of my parents were and are severe narcissists, including the man that raised me, who is also a covert narcissist. Committed suicide in front of me because I was making progress. I had gotten my dream job. For some of us, a dream job is being a property mapper in Cabarrus County and making $41,000 a year. My dreams have never been grandiose. I had my own office. Even though I was in MAGA country, I respected and liked all of my coworkers. Giving myself Reiki in my heart space. Legacy, trauma, response. Back to Lisa. Back to Lisa. Back to Lisa's mom. I don't think anyone in my family knew how to handle my mother. My mother is extremely histrionic. And extremely sadomasochistic. And I believe that that is very genetic. Her father, extremely grandiose, extremely conceited, extremely narcissistic. My grandmother, extremely disassociative, extremely good vibes only. She gets pregnant at 15 and she hates me. And her family expects her to take responsibility for her actions. Because they have no idea what to do with a pregnant 15-year-old while they are surviving the coal mines. And what I believe is a ecological, genocidal, slow, torturous death of mystery ailments that the medical community has been pressured into pretending is not real. So in turn, they have turned to medicating. And I'm not going to go off on a tangent about that. I'm going to wait and I'm going to save that conversation for another video. But when you cannot drink the water and you're bathing in it and you're breathing the air, this is not a cautionary tale, people. We are past the cautionary tale part of this. So Lisa watching these data centers being built and Lisa reading about Trump upgrading coal mining facilities and building more, Lisa is in a constant state of anxiety because Lisa no longer disassociates. And I'm not going to. I'm not going to hypnotize myself anymore. I'm no longer going to do neuro-linguistic programming. I'm not going to therapy anymore. I am not going to sit in meditation while the world around me burns to the fucking ground anymore. And I'm no longer going to allow Christian or Buddhist ideology to be the central philosophy of my life. I'm glad that there are people in Tibet and in nunneries that get to go and sit and disassociate from all of the world's problems and raise the vibe while the rest of us are in a pot of boiling oil. Do you catch my drift, people? Do you catch my fucking drift? There's no good vibesing out of this. There is doing something. Something as simple as a general strike. You fucking assholes. I am 1,000,000% sure that I have shaken baby syndrome. And my mother is still alive. So my question is, since we're all so busy trying to litigate the past in this country, and I'm talking about the real history that we're all supposed to fast forward. I've done neurolinguistic linguistic programming. I've gone into the cult of psychology and psychiatry where they sat me in a chair and tried to get me to erase my childhood. Literally. After Daniel Grigg committed suicide in front of me, I went to grief therapy. And that therapist had me do therapy, which if you go on the internet is the #1 therapy that we're supposed to be doing. Those of us that have trauma, those of us that have real trauma, not I didn't get what I wanted for my fucking birthday, and Santa Claus did not come exactly, and I didn't have the clothes I wanted, and I didn't have the gaming system I wanted, and I didn't have the iPhone I wanted, and I didn't have the tennis shoes that I wanted. I'm talking about real physical, verbal chronic abuse. What is being peddled to people like me is to erase it from our minds. This shitty fucking therapist sat me in a chair and told me to imagine I was in front of a beach. So a fucking Scorpio or a fucking Cancer or a fucking Pisces came up with this shit. Sit yourself in a chair in front of a beach. Imagine a TV. Disassociation, disassociation, disassociation with a VCR on top of it. And imagine that you have a remote control. And when Daniel committed suicide in front of me, the traumatic place that my psyche took me was when I was a 14-year-old and I tried to commit suicide. It was summertime. I went and hung out with my friends. My mother hated that I had friends and that I was not like my sister Pam. I did not make my mother the center of my universe, and she hated it. And because it's normal for children to go have friends, she couldn't stop me. So I went to my friend's house and they had some alcohol. And it was the middle of the day and I drank 1 or 2 beers. 1 or 2 beers. This is the origin story, I think, of Lisa being an alcoholic. And the mother of my friends came home, and this was before I had gone through full-blown puberty. So in my mind, I was just one of the guys. And the alcohol gave me a hot flash, so I took off my shirt. Mind you, I barely had breast buds. But unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't fucking know, because there were older boys there and I could have been raped. The mother came home and she said, "Lisa, you have to go home." And she didn't scream at me. She didn't make me feel embarrassed. She just looked at me and said, "Lisa, you have to go home." And then she calmly, I believe, called my mother. She didn't know my mother is a raging lunatic. And I got home and my mother attacked me. Hysterically and violently and physically. And I ran into the kitchen and I grabbed the aspirin bottle, which was about this big, and I took as many of them as I could, and I ran out the door. And I went and I laid in a field hoping and praying that I would just fucking die. But that's not what happened. And I did not want to go home. So I walked through the field far. And I ended up at a friend's house that I recognized from my rural school bus route. Mind you, I'm still in middle school, people. Don't look at me right now and see this Lisa. See an accurate representation of who I was. I was a child. Do not fucking disassociate. And I knocked on her door, and they looked at me with terror in their eyes. And my friend's father put me in his truck and he drove me home. I walked in the door. They knew what I had done. My mother did not put her finger down my throat. Nobody said a word to me. Not my father, not my sisters, no one, because my mother ran the fucking show. And I went and I got in my bed. And all night long, all I heard was helicopters, woo, 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 and going in and out of consciousness. I woke up. And I know it was daytime because I could feel the sun on my skin. But I could not open my eyes. And if I was opening them, I could not see. And I heard my mother talking to a degenerate neighbor named Melvin. And I heard him say, Pam, you have to take her to the hospital. So she didn't go get a mother. She went and got a degenerate because she wanted him to say she's going to be fine because she did not care. She did not care that her daughter was dying. I don't remember going to the hospital. I do know that I was in intensive care for a solid week. Not a single social worker or anyone asked me why I did what I did. I'm sure my mother manufactured some sort of smear campaign against me. She did go tell one of my best friends' mothers, who was also married to a violent sadist. And her name is Nancy. Nancy and her son Siva, who Siva is and I bonded because we were outcasts. He's a homosexual and I am a bastard. And they came to visit me, and Nancy brought me a nightgown and a robe and a little heart-shaped glass trinket. I believe I have it on an altar. Hold on, let me see. It's got some of my kids' teeth in it. And a fortune I kept. Let's see. Your future is a river, let it flow with prosperity. Anyway. One young doctor came up to me and whispered, "Do not ever take aspirin again. Your kidneys almost failed." They almost had to put me on dialysis. And since at that time I was property of my mother, her narrative was not questioned. My mother is so Machiavellian. She knows exactly who to talk to. She knows exactly what to say. She knows exactly when to say it. That Scorpio has a sixth sense about how to control a narrative and how to get what she wants. She ran that scam on me for years. And right now she's running that scam on a Jewish man. I just don't fucking understand it. She's not smart. She's not attractive. She's cruel. She is cruel. She is a sadomasochist. And to be honest with you, I think she's successfully, what these Machiavellian, sadomasochistic narcissists are able